Welcome to Reddit Reads r/ProRevenge. Our first Reddit post is from Ampasamburo. Was 5 minutes worth 30 of your global market? So I used to live in Deutschland, and upon returning to fair Blighty, the UK, I began looking for work. Being a simple man of simple needs, I quickly found employment in the marketing department for a medium-sized industrial manufacturer. It was a little below my experience level and qualifications, but I take what I can get because I am a simple man. At the final interview, I mentioned it would be top banana if I could arrive 5 minutes early and leave 5 minutes early on most days so I could catch my train. With a smile, my new boss, hereafter referred to as Mentirosa, said, "Of course, it's only 5 minutes, and I'd still be working the full 8 hours. Sin problem is Ampasamburo, and welcome aboard. My first day comes, and I ride the choo-choo all the way to my new workplace, eager to begin. I quickly learn that the lunchroom is pure stank. Senior staff put their name instead of mine on any trade article I get published. I am a simple man, and so I set about my labors, glad to earn a crust." I remind her of the conversation we had in which she said with her mouth, "What really flogged my noggin, however, is La Mentirosa calling me into her office on my second day and telling me I can't leave early again because it is unprofessional. She smirks and replies, "Maybe I said that, but is that written in your contract? Touch, you big ol' Mentirosa, touch." I shrug and get on with life, because that's life. Yet I do not want this. By making me stay the 5 minutes, La Mentirosa makes me miss my train and turns my 2 hours daily commute into a 4-hour one. I am a simple man and need my downtime. About 2 weeks later, the company goes on a firing spree. One of those people fired is me because I have been quite openly looking for other work. Among the other victims of the purge is the regional sales manager for Germany. As she Snapchats this news to the rest of the team, I joke not, I reflect, that she is probably right, as I am a simple man. I am given 2 weeks' notice and smugly told I am not good enough for this place, and that I will never work in the area again because of La Mentirosa's contacts. This is more important to the company than my meaningless departure, since the company also decided to end the contract with their biggest German distributor, and so suddenly a huge part of the company's core market is not active, and they have no salesman to find them a new distributor. Management panics until La Mentirosa remembers that her despised marketing bandit is a fluent German speaker, and so the fun begins. She asks me to step up to the plate. "Be a buddy, old pal, I didn't mean it when I said you'd never work in this town again." I am a simple man, so rather than point out that I am not being paid anywhere near what I could earn as a translator, rather than remind them that they have just fired me and I am not their friend anymore, rather than asking is it written in my contract, and then smirking like an obnoxious dingwall on a high horse made of douche, I instead swallow my pride. Firstly, inadequacy. It is here that the twin revenge, named inadequacy, and abandonment make their entrance. During every conversation I mention my job title, advertising assistant. When the friendly Teutons politely ask why a lowly assistant is negotiating this kind of deal, I simply explain that the regional manager was let go and there is no formal replacement. This is entirely true, but is also a huge red flag for any serious company, especially well-established German manufacturing firms, and combined with the temporary uncertainty regarding Brexit, which had been announced only a few days prior, was enough to kill any interest they had in becoming our next distributor. Secondly, abandonment. As I am a simple man, I forgot to tell La Mentirosa that I had already received and accepted another job offer. I assured her there were no hard feelings over my firing, and that I would stay to help as long as I could. She was thrilled at the praises she was getting from management for finding a stopgap solution to the catastrophic damage they had done themselves, and she asked me if I could actually stay on with the company until they secured a new distributor since I obviously had nothing better to do with my time, being fired and all. On the day I was originally due to leave, I held my calls, drew up a summary of where we stood. It was effectively a sad emoji followed by a poop emoji, handed it to La Mentirosa, and explained I was leaving to enjoy a week of holiday followed by starting a new job in a different field. She sputtered. She couldn't believe it. She thought I would stay longer to help clean up the mess. They still had no distributor and no sales manager for Germany. They were hemorrhaging money. She called me out, reminding me that I had said I would stay, but I am a simple man, and so my only reply was, maybe I said that, but is that written in my contract? TL Drive manager lies in interview, then fires me and threatens to badmouth me all over town. Then asks me to stay past my notice period and help clean up their foul up. Instead, I am honest with their potential clients and leave abruptly. The company goes without 30% of its turnover for at least a month. P.S. The company survived. La Mentirosa ended up being let. Edit. Some people have pointed out that I erroneously used the word several to describe a period of time of roughly 2 years. This comment is from Habitus Maximus. This is not a sign of duplicity, just more proof that I am a simple man. How could they be so bloody idiotic? Pay you dirt, give you full access to a room of people they can't communicate with and need for their revenue, then for some reason trust you not to royally fuck them. Nice work. This comment is from Blunitskis. I am a simple man, I upvote. This comment is from TheFireDrake42. Thank you board members, section chiefs, and floor managers for joining me at this meeting. As previously mentioned, we will be discussing the company's current fiscal outlook, any chances of future growth, as well as how we currently appeal to our entire customer base. If you'll look at the reports I have provided, you will find a very succinct and accurate breakdown that I personally think will paint a very clear picture as to where we stand both as a company and a leader in our field. Thank you for your time. Now, a word from today's sponsor. Make sure to donate to my Patreon down in the description below to get early access to videos, participate in special patron-only events, and other goodies. Any amount of money is greatly appreciated. It makes it easier for me to make the content that I love making, and I know you guys love too. Now back to the video. Our next Reddit post is from 9. Slumlord lost his business over 300 security deposit. TLDR at bottom. I rented a little house from a man who owned a painting business. The power was off when we came to see the property, but he assured us everything worked, even put it in the contract. The place was dirty and poorly maintained, so we negotiated the security deposit down to 300. I asked him to have someone look at them. Turned out the heater didn't work, along with the refrigerator and dishwasher. He cursed me up and down. He called and left threatening voicemails. He would show up unannounced and let himself in. On one of the visits, I showed him that the crawl space was flooded and was a breeding ground for thousands, if not millions, of cockroaches and mosquitoes that would come up through the floor vents. There was absolutely no ductwork, even though he claimed the heater worked fine. He accused me of causing the flood myself, even though I showed him the source was a pipe that had rusted through. He refused to address any problems and said, "If you don't like it, then you can move. You can't pay for a bargain and expect to live in the Ritz." This man was a terrible man in general. Once he hired someone off Craigslist to cut down a tree in the rental property's yard. The man worked literally all day for the agreed 150 cut up and hauled off the tree. He came back that evening just standing in the yard. I asked if I could help him. He said he was waiting for the owner to get paid. The owner kept replying saying he was on the way but never showed up. Our neighbor told us he had punched the previous renter in the face and refused to pay him for a day's work for his company. He had bragged about renting to illegal immigrants and not having to do anything because they wouldn't sue. We had a newborn baby, so we called his bluff and agreed to find a new place to live. We left the home in much better shape than we found it. He said he would mail us the security deposit but never did. He dodged my phone calls until one day he called to say you aren't getting it back. You broke the contract when you left early, so go F yourself. I was really upset because we were new parents and had very little money. That 300 was a big deal to us and a drop in the bucket for this man. He owned an upscale painting business and had 15 rental properties. The next week, I was online leaving negative reviews for his business when I clicked a link and noticed his website's domain had just lapsed. I knew what I had to do. I immediately bought it, then created a homepage with contact info for his biggest competitor. He was irate. I emailed him from his old domain asking him if he wanted to buy the website for $320, the cost of the security deposit plus the price I paid for the domain. He started calling my work, threatening to sue my employer. He even contacted my parents and threatened to sue them. He left a bunch of threatening voicemails for me, saying he was going to beat me up, and he knows where I live and he has my social security number. He must have used his old domain's email as his contact email. I received emails from several review sites asking if I was trying to update the contact info for the business. I didn't want to get in trouble for impersonating his business, so I did not respond. The contact info was never changed. I received a few emails from potential clients. I called him and told him about the painting job requests. I gave him the contact info for one of the clients to prove I wasn't just making it up. I told him it was the last time I was going to do that for him, and suggested he buy the website back in order to not miss out on any other jobs. He told me he was taking me to court. I told him I had recorded his threatening phone calls and saved all his texts and voicemails. He said he was going to sue me for illegally recording him, not illegal in my state. I said I look forward to seeing you in court, where I countersue and press charges for harassing me, and I hung up. He called back and cussed me out for hanging up on him. I said, call me back when you can speak respectfully to me, and hung up again. We repeated this about 5 times. Each time he was more angry until the last time. He spoke respectfully and explained he hadn't got a single job in months. He lost it and cussed me out again. I suggested he focus more on creating a website to find business. 6 months passed and he still hadn't bought the website from me. I get a call from him begging me to do the right thing and give him the website back. I told him the current price was $350. 6 months later, I get another phone call. I told him the current price is $380. Eventually, he texted me to say I went out of business. I hope you're happy. I responded, I hear having a website really helps your business. $380 and it's yours. He told me what a terrible person I am and said karma's a bitch. I responded, maybe if you stop trying to rip people off, your karma wouldn't be so bad. That was the last time I ever heard from him. The major business listing sites confirmed his business did indeed close. I renewed the domain for another 2 years just in case he was bluffing. A few months later, I drove by his office to see if it was still there. It was empty with a for rent sign posted. I never got that $300 back and spent money on domain registrations, but it was totally worth it. TLDR, Slumlord unjustly kept my security deposit, so I bought his website. I put his competitor's contact info on the homepage. I offered to sell it back to him for the price of the security deposit. He refused and threatened to sue me repeatedly. He wound up losing his business. It was in 2013 through GoDaddy. Edit, I removed pricing and domain renewal timeline because I was estimating and it was bothering people. But if it really matters to you, I can send screenshots of verifying emails, company info, and the domain address. Just message me because I can't post it here, or it would break the rules of not giving out personal info. This comment is from Ricesnius. This comment is from Rook9. Great revenge. Bet that was satisfying. Yeah, my coworker and good friend used to send me emails through the website's contact form asking for quotes all the time. We would spend so much time laughing about it. This comment is from Algaite188. Nice and thorough. You even managed to maintain your cool through it all. Does he still have the properties? Are there certain city inspection services that might want to do things? Maybe have a look. That was Reddit Reads r/ProRevenge. If you like this content, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you are notified of new uploads. We upload new videos every day. Also subscribe to our Patreon, as that will help us a lot. See you next time.